Students, is my screen visible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, thank you. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Rakhi Yadav, your PMRF teaching assistant for Introductory Organic Chemistry course, which is conducted by NPTEL and whose course instructors are Professor Harinath Chakrapani and Professor Neeraja Dashaputre from ICER Pune. In week 1, what we have covered is electrophilic aromatic substitution with basics of NMR. And in week 2, we have covered nucleophilic aromatic substitution. Today, in this week 3, students, we are going to cover nucleophilic additions on carbonyl compounds and their stereochemistry. But before starting this topic, I have left the topic of IR spectroscopy. So, can anyone tell me when we irradiate any molecule with IR or infrared waves, what changes in that molecule come? For example, in microwave, what changes come? In rotational energy levels, yes or no? Students, are you able to hear me? I will expect everyone to take participation in class questions, okay? So, IR stands for infrared spectroscopy. It includes change in vibration of molecule. Vibration of molecule. Have you studied anywhere degrees of freedom? Translational, vibrational, rotational, anyone? Why you all are not responding today? Do you know anything about infrared spectroscopy? Students, yes, no. Okay. So, students, infrared spectroscopy involves vibration of molecule. It is a result of change in dipole moment. If anyone asks you which will have more IR wave number, CO bond or CN bond, or you can say that OH bond or NH bond. So, which will have more IR vibration frequency, OH or NH? OH. More the polarity of bond, higher is the vibrational frequency. When you irradiate any compound with IR frequency range, hello, and when that compound absorbs frequency of that radiation, it causes vibration in molecule. Okay, so most important is this functional group. Wait. So most important for you to notice is this CO stretching one, right? You have C double bond O R. If you recall from Hooke's law, your mu is equals to 1 by 2 pi root K by mu, where K is your force constant and mu is your reduced mass. Okay, so more is your bond order, more will be your vibrational frequency. Here, why frequency is in centimeter inverse? Because it is wave number. If you recall, C is equals to mu lambda. Okay, if C by lambda is equals to mu, then mu is equals to C mu bar, where this is your frequency, this is your wave number. So basically wave number is 1 by wavelength. Therefore its SI unit is centimeter inverse. Now all these stretching, vibration, bending frequency are, as I've told you in last class also that, uh, okay, if you have attended my last class, then tell me what is the frequency range for IR? 4000 centimeter inverse to 400 centimeter inverse. Uh, just can anyone unmute yourself and tell me, am I audible? Ravi,
Yes, ma'am.
if audible, why you all are not responding? At least yes, no. I'm not able to get either you are understanding or not. Okay. See, more this carbon will be your electron deficient, or more the partial positive charge will be on this carbon, higher this oxygen is going to stabilize this, right? And this bond order will be more. It will be between your double bond and triple bond, yes or no? Now if this R group is your methyl, it will let's start from your aldehyde and ketone. Wait, let's say we have, this is your ketone, this is your ketone, this is your aldehyde. Now just tell me, among this aldehyde and ketone, which carbon is more electrophilic? This is a simple basic question from 12th class book. Among aldehyde and ketone, which carbon is more electrophilic? Or we can say that more susceptible to nucleophilic attack. Which is more electron deficient? Aldehyde or ketone? Okay, let me tell you, aldehyde is more electrophilic. This carbon is more electrophilic because here two alkyl groups are there, which is decreasing electron density of this carbon with respect to aldehyde. So, more the electron deficiency of this carbon, higher is your bond order and higher will be the stretching frequency. Therefore, among ketone and aldehyde, which is having more stretching frequency? Your aldehyde. Okay. In carboxylic acid, one of the OH is replaced by your OH. OH, so it is plus M type group. So, therefore, it is having less frequency. Amide, even better mesomeric group, NH2, right? But in, you will say, then why in ester it is more than aldehyde? Because this is type of exception, or you can remember that in IR, OET is your minus I group. Okay, so due to its, it is having plus M also, but along with plus m it is having minus I also, and in IR this minus I effect dominates and it come around 1735 centimeter inverse. Okay, then your acid chloride 1800, and at last your anhydride, which are having two frequency. One is from symmetric stretch and one is for asymmetric stretch. Okay, and do you know anything about symmetric asymmetric stretch? Yes or no? If you take any rubber band, okay, I don't have one. Just give me one. Let's say you are having this rubber band. Okay, if I put a force of 5 newton in this side and 5 of this side, this is your symmetric stretch. Okay, and if I put 3 newton this side and 4 newton this side, this is your asymmetric stretch. According to you, which will take higher and more energy, symmetric stretch or asymmetric stretch? Any guesses? Which type of stretching will require more energy, symmetric or asymmetric?
Asymmetric stretching.
Exactly. Why? And you can take one more example. Let's say you are between your two friends. One is pulling you right side and one is pulling you left side. In symmetric stretch, less energy is required. But let's say one is pulling by less force and one is pulling by more force. It means it will take more energy. So if anyone asks you in any competitive exam in an anhydride, there are two frequencies are there, 1760 1810, which is of symmetric stretch 1760 and asymmetric stretch 1810. Okay, wait, this is your anhydride student, CH3 C double bond O CO CH3. Understood? Yes or no? So one is your symmetric stretch, both sides same, and one is your asymmetric stretch. I hope it is clear now. And it should also be clear that why OH is more frequency than NH. See, OH is having frequency of 3600 centimeter inwards, while amine is having 3400 or 3350. There are two frequencies, asymmetric, symmetric. One more thing you can note down on in your copy, it is very important. If anyone asks you, wait, it is two types of frequencies you may observe in IR stretching frequency. Let's say you are seeing W type and you are seeing V type. 1 degree primary amine shows W type of peak and 2 degree amine shows V type of peak. You can note down in your copy. This is IR pattern. Okay. Your primary amine shows W type of peak and your secondary amine shows V type peak. You just scan this slide for 1 minute, then we are going to cover questions based on this.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Ask.
Ma'am, this last one regarding this peak one, can you just write it in different color to differentiate?
Which one?
Ma'am, this last one, the one that you have written at the last.
Okay, this W and V type.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Have you understood? that stretch, symmetric stretch, asymmetric stretch. And if you want me to go more deep into this topic, if you recall your physics, degrees of freedom, translational, rotational, vibrational. Translational, a molecule can go x direction, y direction, z direction. 3 degrees of freedom. Okay. In rotational, we are going to cover linear molecules, non-linear molecules. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me change this. I'm giving you 5 minutes. At least remember this CO stretching frequency, carbonyl one. This is important. You should remember your alcohol peak, your NH peak, and C triple bond N peak. These are some important points you should remember in IR. Okay, and this is also important that 1 degree amine shows your W type of peak and 2 degree amine shows V type of peak. Okay, good. So if you understood little bit about IR spectroscopy, try to answer this question. In an infrared spectrum, which of the following functional group has the highest frequency? Ketone, aldehyde, ester, or alcohol?
Yes. Esther.
Ester, are you
Ma'am,
sure?
only
Okay, before answering this question, let me give you hint. One factor is this 1 by 2 pi root k by mu. And if you are talking about mu wave number, let's divide by c. One is this parameter. Another parameter is keeping these two parameters in mind, then give me answer. More is the dipole moment, higher is the frequency. Now tell me. All these things are very important. Okay, these three are carbonyls. Okay, we have right now seen that carbonyls are in range of 1700 to 1850, let's say.
Okay.
But your alcohol, see, 3600. Why? Because alcohol means OH. Oxygen and hydrogen have electronegativity difference. Yes or no? But
Yes.
yes,
while in your ketone aldehyde ester, it is CO bond. Okay. So correct answer will be D. I hope you understood.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Try this question. I will give you hint for this. Wait. Which of the following, which of these molecules best corresponds to IR spectrum below? Let's say this is the IR spectrum you are given. Now you have to interpret which among these options which corresponds to this spectrum. Okay, let me give you few hints. Okay. Whenever students you are given proton NMR, 13C NMR or IR, okay, for analysis that find out which structure is there, your first task should be find double bond index or degree of unsaturation. That is C minus H by 2 plus N by 2 plus 1. Okay. Here, monovalent atoms can also be there. Now, can anyone tell me by using this formula what is the double bond index of C5H10O? C means number of carbons, hydrogen means number of hydrogen, nitrogen means number of nitrogen plus 1. Now don't ask me ma'am number of oxygen, it doesn't come in formula. Okay. I am also calculating but before me you tell me. 1, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
After seeing degree of unsaturation 1, which option can you delete? Okay, you know what is degree of unsaturation? How many double bonds are there in your molecule? Let's say you have degree of unsaturation 1 means one double bond, 2 2 means two double bond, either this or this. Degree of unsaturation 2. One for your ring and second for your double bond. Okay, tell me, benzene have what degree of unsaturation? If you understood degree of unsaturation, that is simple.
Four.
4. How?
Four, yes.
3 double bonds and 1 for
One
ring.
for drink.
Okay, let's do one more exercise. Naphthalene. Naphthalene.
7.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 2 4 rings. Very good. 7. If you understood this thing very clearly, now tell me which option can you eliminate on basis of degree of unsaturation?
Option D.
Option
D. We can
D.
eliminate on the basis of degree of unsaturation.
Exactly. Very good. Option D can be eliminated easily. Okay. This is having degree of unsaturation 1. है ना? 1 for ring, 1 for carbonyl and 1 for ring. Now which option can I eliminate? Can you see any peak which is so much consistent in range of 1700 to 1800? No. It means these option can also be eliminated. But one peak is there, see? It is in region of 3600 or we can say that 3400 to 3600 centimeter inverse, which can be of alcohol. So alcohol with one ring, it can correspond to option number E.
E.
Understood how to solve these type of questions?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in the previous slide that you have shown where the ranges were written, so the only one that you have mentioned, that only we have to remember the range.
Uh, where I have written important, it means they can come definitely in your exams. Otherwise it will be better if you glance through every value. Okay, since there was no response in this slide, I have not gone into deep, but you can glance through all the values. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so this is all about IR spectroscopy. I think I have covered all the topic which has sir taught till second lecture. So today we are going to cover nucleophilic addition reaction and their stereochemistry. Okay. First of all, what is your nucleophilic addition? This is your carbonyl. Okay. And whenever any external nucleophile adds on to this carbonyl, it is your nucleophilic addition. In first question, they are saying what type of reaction takes place upon treatment of a ketone with HCN, let's say with HCN, to form cyanohydrin. Cyanohydrin means OH nitride. How? This CN first HCN is going to protonate your carbonyl and then CN negative is going to attack here in order to get this cyanohydrin. So this is your nucleophilic addition. Okay. But have you ever thought why they are why there is requirement of any model for getting stereochemistry and when it is required. Let's say you are having simple aldehyde or let's say keto. Okay. This is your ketone, flat ketone, okay, V shape. Now, okay, let's say this in this screen it is lying, okay, CO with two alkyl groups. Now, nucleophile can come from front of the screen and nucleophile can attack from the back of the screen. Yes or no? So,
Yes.
in every nucleophilic addition, there are two possibilities. Let's say this is R and this is R1. R1, R, OH, sorry for my drawing, OH nucleophile. And another possibility is that your nucleophile is at wedge position and OH is at dash. In this case, no problem, right? But when problem starts coming, whenever you are having a chiral center adjacent to your ketone, okay, whenever your carbonyl center where nucleophile is going to attack is having adjacent carbon chiral center, presence of chiral center alpha to the carbonyl, we have to look for model which sir has taught to you, Falkin's model, Kram's model, Kram's chelation model. Yes or no? Okay. But before going to that model, tell me, identify the correct common name for the following compound. Common name, not IUPAC name. Tell me. Your options are A 3-methyl cyclohexane carbaldehyde, 3-methyl benz carbaldehyde, 3-methyl benzaldehyde, gamma methyl cyclohexane carbaldehyde.
And the IUPAC for this compound should be 3-methyl cyclohexane carbaldehyde.
IUPAC, but I have asked for common name.
Gamma.
Think. But yeah, you are absolutely right. IUPAC name for this compound is your 3-methyl 1, 2, 3. Whenever your principal functional group is not able to come in your long chain, we have to give name it as carbaldehyde. Let's say instead of CHO, COH was there. Then what name will you give it?
3-methyl cyclohexane carboxylic acid.
Very good, very good. Benz carbaldehyde, it can't be true. 3-methyl benzaldehyde, no, because benzaldehyde is your this. So only correct answer is A. But we have to check. I think this is also common name for this, but this is IUPAC for sure. Common name I will check again. Okay, it can be A and it can be D also.
Ma'am, the naming in this naming procedure, alpha, beta, gamma, it is given from the like number one. It is this no, so that would be alpha
Huh, very
carbon.
good. This is your carbonyl. You just have to count from here. Alpha, beta, gamma. Naming is correct. Same, it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
same like your 1, 2, 3. Alpha, beta,
Yes.
gamma, delta. Okay, good. So, students, now let's have a brief recap of or brief revision of your models. Then we are going to cover problem based on it. So, first one is your Falcon and addition. Now, can anyone tell me if you have attended Sir's lecture when you have to apply this Falcon and model?
Ma'am, only when we have a chiral center.
Chiral center, but of which type?
Prochiral.
Pro prochiral. Okay. Okay. Let's see from starting. Where is my pointer? Is see. If you look at these groups, methyl, phenyl, hydrogen, these are simple alkyl groups. Yes or no? So whenever your chiral center contains alkyl groups, you should look for Falcon and model. Okay, FAM. And how you should apply Falcon and model? I will tell you simple. If you recall, this is your Newman projection for your carbonyl. You just have to place this carbonyl in a straight line. In front, there are two carbons, front, back. In front, it is like this, COH. Okay. And at back carbon, what things are there? Huh. Back carbon, there can be two possibilities. But what Falcon and model says, it says put L, large group, perpendicular to your carbonyl. Okay. And small group to this. And here your methyl.
Yes, ma'am.
Among these three groups, which is large? You have to decide large, small, medium. So it is obvious large is your phenyl group, medium is your methyl group, and small is your hydrogen. Students, if at any point there is confusion, please ask here. Okay, I will explain again if you have any problem. So as per rule, you have to keep your large group perpendicular to your carbonyl group and your small group to this point. Why? Because when incoming nucleophile is going to attack, it will attack from smaller group. And at which trajectory it attacks? If anyone knows, anyone has read about,
Devneet.
yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Dunit's trajectory. At which angle nucleophile attacks according to this trajectory?
105 degree.
105 or 10, I think. 105 degree. Good. Okay. Till this point you are clear. Okay. Now
Yes, ma'am.
now you may ask among these two which will be major. So how to solve this question? Wait. Today number of students are less in class. Is there any other class?
No, ma'am.
Festival is there therefore? My pointer, you just have to draw it like this. Put your phenyl here, your hydrogen here, your methyl here. Okay. So basically, as per this model, your medium group should be here and small group should be here. Now let's say nucleophile is attacking here. Okay. This your front carbon is having CO above, hydrogen here. Whenever it will attack, it will twist it like in this V form. Okay, it will be like this. I hope you are able to see me. It will be like this. So if nucleophile is attacking from left side, it will shift here. OH, H. and your nucleophile will be at this side. And already what groups were there? Methyl, hydrogen, pH. Okay, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you have to see on main chain in this zigzag line. This is your nucleophile, this is your phenyl, this is your nucleophile, this is your phenyl. So if you take this thing and do and make a rectangle over it, methyl and OH are on same side, yes or no? So in methyl and OH are on same side, syn. Therefore here syn is major. Okay. So it is asking also which of these two the reaction give predominantly is predictable. So here sin is major. Now you understood how to draw it. Okay. Let me tell you again. Whichever groups are just in front of each other, you just have to draw like this. pH nucleophile. Okay. Now you know one thing with respect to this, methyl and OH are on same side. So one thing is clear, you have to draw it on same side. Yes, you can draw it other way around also. How? Wedge, wedge. Both are possible. Okay, but relative stereochemistry should be correct. Understood? Yes or no? Okay. So this is next slide only. So students, as per Falken's model, you have to put your phenyl group or large group perpendicular to your carbonyl. This is your front carbon.
Mm.
Back one is this having three substituents. Put your smaller group here so that nucleophile can come here and attack here. Once your nucleophile is attacking, it will make this carbonyl like this. You. Then what you have to draw, you just have to pick the line which is having opposite groups. Phenyl and CH3 are opposite in zigzag fashion. It is coming down, it is going up. So they are. I hope you all are clear with Newman and Sohor's projection. Clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, you can imagine na? Okay, okay. One more possibility is there, which I have told you earlier also, that this is perpendicular, okay, but that nucleophile is attacking from methyl. No, but among these two structure, this is more feasible one, because here it is approachable for a nucleophile to attack on this carbon, and therefore they are getting syn product major. I hope this slide is clear to everyone. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Yes,
next
ma'am.
next what can happen? You may be given question where at chiral center any heteroatom is there. Okay, then you can't apply that model large, medium, small. In that case, only change what you have to do is, instead of that large group, put your heteroatom. Okay, instead of that large group, put your heteroatom. And why this reason is already written over here. Due to better overlapping, you can read from this. Okay, right now for question solving basis, what can I teach you is that here there are three groups. This is your alpha carbon, it is having heteroatom, this group, and a dash it is hydrogen. Okay, so as per earlier rule, hydrogen you have to keep here only, medium group. Now your heteroatom has replaced your large group. Nothing changed. Now uh, your nucleophile is butyl lithium. So butyl. So they have got this structure. Now one problem you may get in last example, phenyl and that nucleophile were trans to each other, right? But what in this case?
Ma'am, large carbon chain.
Ha, very good, very good. She is saying correctly. One thing you must know, that in previous example student, this phenyl and methyl were there, and this nucleophile is also alkyl, right? So it is clear that they have written it like this, that means your longest carbon chain should be there, but here what happened is Here what happened is, my pointer, after reaching to this structure, okay, you guys also draw in your product student, these two groups are anti to each other, which this alkyl and this alkyl, yes or no? So basically you have to do a rotation which can bring this alkyl group and this alkyl group opposite to each other. And for that, what can you do? Keep one carbon center fixed and give rotation to other in a manner that those two alkyl groups come opposite to each other. Got it or not? Or I should repeat. You have to do a rotation because in conformations, rotation is allowed. But only one carbon rotation. You have to move the groups in order that those two alkyl groups opposite to each other. Okay, let me write here, then you will understand. Okay, I am saying to you, keep this carbon fixed, and in which direction will you move back carbon substituent in order that this nucleophile and this medium group come in opposite to each other? At which angle? 120 degree?
120 degree clockwise.
Clockwise, very
120
good.
degree clockwise.
If you will do clockwise 120 degree, keep other things as they are. Butyl, OH, H. And now what you have to do? That, as he said, this alkyl group will, how many carbons? One, two, three. Okay, let's say it is propyl. Okay, and then this NME will come here. Yes or no? NME 2, and this hydrogen will come here. I hope you all are clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Huh. Now, if you will see, if you put this butyl and propyl in box, you can see the hydrogen and OH are on same side. Yes, they are on same side. OH is at wedge, and hydrogen is also at wedge, right? NMe2 and hydrogen are at same position. Yes, NMe2 is at dash, and hydrogen is also at dash. Or you can say that NMe2 and OH are at opposite position. Now you got it how to write from this Newman projection to wedge dash. You just have to put opposite groups in your planar carbons. And at wedge dash, you just have to see relative stereochemistry. Either they are anti or they are at same. Clear? So till now we have covered two model, Falcon and model or and this model. In Falcon and model, you have to keep large group perpendicular to your carbonyl, and in this model you have to put your heteroatom perpendicular to your carbonyl. Understood?
Ma'am,
Huh?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
I want to ask that you mentioned that to identify where we have to apply that Falcon model.
Huh?
Ma'am, what was the thing? How will we able to identify that in this question we have to apply this model?
Okay, I will tell you. This model is only applicable when you are having heteroatom to your alpha to the chiral center. Okay, sorry, alpha to the when you have. Let me repeat my sentence again. When we have chiral center alpha to the carbonyl having one of the substituent as heteroatom. Heteroatom means any atom other than your carbon and hydrogen, such as nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur. There you have to apply this model. But if you have alkyl groups, right? Phenyl, methyl, hydrogen, these all are not heteroatom. These are your carbon, hydrogen. And here you have to apply Falcon model.
Yes,
Understood?
ma'am. Got it,
But
ma'am.
once you got this heteroatom, you have to actually I'm not reminding name for this model because chelation model is that in where this your nucleophile na, this let's say it is butyl magnesium bromide. There we used to have Krebs chelation model. Why? And why they are having this in that model? Here I'm not cover here I have not covered. In that model, student, what you have to do, let's say here butyl magnesium bromide is there, okay, then we have to put that heteroatom here at the place of medium group and oxygen here. Why? Because that magnesium is a magnesium remains in which form? Magnesium plus 2. Okay. So that metal can chelate with your oxygen and heteroatom just adjacent to it. And that model is known as Kram's chelation model. Let me explain you again. I know I have confused you completely. Kram's chelation model. If you get time, please read this model also. What this model says, let's say you are having same question, but instead of butyl lithium, you are having butyl magnesium bromide. You know that magnesium is a plus 2 species, and plus 2 species students, if you remember anything about your coordination chemistry, let's say heteroatom is NMe2, and here hydrogen, and here we have to keep this alkyl group. So student, what happened in that Kram's chelation model? This nitrogen and this oxygen chelate with your magnesium, right? And this chelation brings stability to this intermediate. And now you have to do it like this. Nucleophile will attack here. You have to put your carbonyl and heteroatom adjacent to each other. If you put your heteroatom here, they can't be adjacent. They are perpendicular. Here it can't chelate with your metal. So in that case, you have to put your heteroatom here. I hope you got it. I have not kept that part in my slide, but I want to say if you get if you get metal which is divalent, your lithium and sodium are your monovalent cations, right?
Monovalent.
But if you anywhere got divalent cation like this magnesium, so there Kram's chelation. Yeah, now I could remember. Your first model is your Falkenhayn model, right? Your this model is your Cohn-Fourth model. One-fourth model, and that which I am telling, that is your Kram's chelation model. Understood? Or confusion
Yes,
is
ma'am.
there?
Ma'am, name of this model, the one that is written on the slide.
Cornforth. Let me confirm it also. Cornforth. Yeah. I will recheck the name, but you should remember this concept, right? Let me revise you.
Yes.
Uh, when you have to apply these models, whenever you are having chiral center alpha to your carbonyl group. Okay. If that chiral center have all the substituents as hydrocarbon, you have to apply Falkenhayn model. One of the substituent as heteroatom, you have to apply this model where you have to put heteroatom perpendicular to your carbonyl. Third model is your Kram's chelation model. When you have to apply this that model, whenever you are having this counter cation bivalent, for example magnesium. But in case of monovalent, you have only two model, Falkenhayn model and this model. Understood?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now let's have a look on nucleophilic attack on cyclohexanones. Students, in cyclohexanones, there are two possibilities. Nucleophile can come from axial position. Nucleophile can come from your equatorial position. One thing you can write in your notebook is whenever let's say forget about sterics. Let's say it asks about preference of a nucleophile to come on your cyclohexane ring. Your first answer should be it will prefer axial position. Why? Because axial position is more free for a nucleophile to attack, and moreover it has better overlapping with your CO pi star and your C sigma of your nucleophile. Understood? That orbital interaction is good in your axial attack. But what happens, let's say you are having nucleophile larger. Okay, so as you can see in LiLH4, what is your nucleophile? A small hydride, very small nucleophile. So see, axial attack is 90%, yes or no? But as
Yes,
soon
ma'am.
as your nucleophile is increasing, steric wise, in tertiary butyl case, see, equatorial attack becomes 100%. Why? Because that incoming nucleophile do not want to face your 1,3 diaxial interaction. Yes or no? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh, very good. So clear till here? See, in this course, we are going from basics to advanced, and this is advanced part. We have started from simple electrophilic aromatic substitution, and now you are dealing with stereo of nucleophilic substitution addition. You just have to remember some models. Forget about models. If you know the concept which I have taught you, you can write it. If yes, then tell me the stereochemistry of this product. Okay, before telling me stereochemistry, which model will you apply here?
Ma'am, that Felkin Ahan mod,
Falconer model. Why? Because at alpha
uh,
at alpha position, all the substituents are your either carbon or
carbon.
hydrogen. No heteroatom is there. So that is your simple Falcon model. I am also solving, but you tell me the answer. Okay. How to put it? You just have to draw O, and here this methyl is there, so put a dot methyl. Good. Then your next task is put tertiary butyl perpendicular, hydrogen here, ethyl here. After getting attacked from nucleophile, for right now you can write, okay, do as per your convenience. OH, methyl, hydrogen. Hydrogen which one? Nucleophile one. Okay, nucleophile. ET as it is, hydrogen as it is. One mistake I have done, I think. OH, Me, and tertiary butyl. I hope you are clear. Now you can see that. You just forget about these two chiral centers. What it is in this T butyl and Me are opposite. T butyl and Me should be opposite. Keep this fixed and do rotation anti-clockwise. Yes or no? What you will get? OH, H, Me, tertiary butyl, ethyl, hydrogen. So if you see, if you put this tertiary butyl, OH and H are on same side, or I can say OH and ethyl are on different side. So tertiary butyl ethyl is fixed. You have to draw as it is in your starting material. Yes or no? Because there no change has come. Ethyl. But your OH will be at dash. Yes or no, students? So this is the correct answer. You are with me or not?
Ma'am, please repeat.
Repeat. Okay.
Uh,
See, students, you have to draw remaining substituents onto these chiral centers. Okay. You can see which groups are opposite to each other, tertiary butyl and methyl. Okay. Till this structure, is it clear that
Yes,
when
ma'am.
nucleophile attack from here, OH will go, it will form V, as I've told you, it will form V. If it attacks from left side, it will form V right side, and if attacks takes place from here, it will form this side. Okay. V, it has formed OH, Me, and this hydrogen is nucleophile from sodium borohydride. Remaining carbon you have drawn it in the same way. Ethyl H T butyl. Ethyl H T butyl. Okay. Now your next target is to do, you have to bring T butyl and methyl opposite to each other. How can you bring? Just keep one carbon fixed. If you keep one carbon fixed, it will be hydrogen, your OH, your methyl. This is fixed. You have not changed. Because as per confirmation, you can do only one rotation. Now I have told you, give tertiary-butyl 120-degree rotation. Tertiary-butyl will come here. Your ethyl will come here. This. And your hydrogen will go at place of tertiary-butyl. Now clear? Now see, tertiary-butyl and methyl are opposite to each other. If I draw it very clearly, OH, Me, hydrogen. Hydrogen, tertiary-butyl, ethyl. Now whichever groups are on planar side, not on wedge dash. Plain side means this simple bond. Tertiary-butyl and methyl are opposite. See, tertiary-butyl and methyl are opposite. Just draw a line. With respect to tertiary-butyl and methyl, your OH and ethyl
Mm.
are on opposite side. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Therefore, I have drawn this ethyl and OH on opposite side. Means if one is at wedge, another will be at dash. Why I have drawn ethyl at wedge? Because it was already given in question. We just have to determine stereo of this part. We can't change stereo of this, yes or no? But from
Yes,
this
ma'am.
model we know the relative stereochemistry of incoming nucleophile, that OH and ET will be on same side or different side. Hydrogen, C, hydrogen are on different side. This is same side, student, and this is different side with respect to this line in which your opposite groups are there, because with respect to these two chiral center, these are opposite na. 180-degree, tertiary
Yeah.
butyl going downside, methyl going upside. I hope I am clear.
Yes, ma'am.
If you will practice, you will get this thing. Okay,
Yeah.
can we move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if yes, then tell me in question number 1 which model will apply. Let's say that electronegative model name is Conforth. Now tell me.
Yes, ma'am. The
Okay.
other name
Electronegative
is
model.
constant model.
First model name is your Falcon model. Second model name is your electronegative model. For now, just for sake of understanding. Okay. I will check its name again. And now tell me the product. I will request you all, please try by yourself. I am also solving, but check your answer after you have solved. Okay. I am solving with you. Okay. First question, COET. Okay. Since Na is your monovalent, so no chelation relation. You just have to keep your heteroatom perpendicular. Apart from OMe, which groups are there? Ethyl. Okay, ethyl is there. Hydrogen we have to draw here so that nucleophile can attack from smaller side. Okay, your nucleophile. Let's say C triple bond CH is your nucleophile. We can let me denote it by nucleophile. Okay, so nucleophile is going to attack from here. Second one will be your homework, student. It is same. Okay, it will attack from OH this side. Then it will form V, OH, ET. Your nucleophile is going to attack on this carbon only. If you draw like this, ethyl, OMe, H. Now one thing is clear. If you take this, na, forget, you just mark this line where it is having two chiral center. Apart from this, this is ethyl, this is ethyl. They are opposite, and in this they are opposite. We don't have to do rotation here. Why? They are already opposite, ethyl and ethyl. But one thing you can see that OH and OMe are on same side. So what will happen? Your OMe will be as it is, as from starting material. Your reactant OMe and OH will also be at wedge position. I hope you are clear. Easy na? Yes or no, students?
Yes, ma'am. A little.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you
Yes,
sure?
ma'am.
If yes, try to do second question at home. And if you are not able to do, ask me in next class. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. This is very basic question. What is the major organic product obtained from the following reaction? Ozonolysis. Simple. I'm not going to tell you mechanism. We have already spent time on theory part today. See, what my suggestion would be, students, after before coming for this problem solving session, you must go and revise your notes so that we can devote more time to problem solving, how to solve that problem, how to start solving that problem. Okay. Your homework is check mechanism for ozonolysis. You should know mechanism for all the basic reaction. Ozonolysis, now I have already told you. Now you can tell me what is the product. Do you all know na? If you have alkene, you just have to break from between and give one oxygen. From one molecule of ethene, you will get two molecule. From 1 mole of ethene, you will get two molecules of your formaldehyde. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now tell me the correct option for this problem.
Option A.
Option A. Okay. Any other option?
C.
Ma'am,
C. Option B, though I can eliminate. Okay, because it can't form ketone as both are. If you break
ma'am,
from here,
option A.
option A. Okay. If you can see option A, you will form here aldehyde. Let me draw here on CO. So one thing is clear that at terminal carbon aldehyde will form. Okay. So someone was saying option C. Why? Because this methyl is one carbon away from carbonate. Right? Yes or no?
Yes,
Whoever
ma'am.
was saying C. So correct option is option number A. 1 hour has been gone and we are on just problem number 5. Okay. Problem number 6. 1 mole of a symmetrical alkene on ozonolysis gives 2 moles of an aldehyde having molecular mass 44. Okay. Your options are ethene, propene, butene, 2-butene. Let me draw the structure. Ethene, propene. Uh, I have done mistake here. Okay. Third one is your butene. Fourth one is your 2-butene. Okay. After reading question, student, which option can you eliminate just by reading question? Even if you don't know about ozonolysis.
Option first, ma'am.
Four, three,
Option first you will
five.
eliminate. Why? If I were at
Option
your
third and fourth,
if
ma'am,
I were
have
at your
more
place,
carbon.
I will definitely remove option number 2 and 3. Why? Because they are already saying symmetrical alkene. So option 2 is not symmetrical, option 3 is not
Yes.
symmetrical. Okay. Then they are saying giving two molecules of aldehyde whose molar mass is 44 units. Okay. It will give your aldehyde HCHO 12, 13, 14,
Hmm.
14 and 16, if I'm not wrong. Yes or no? So
Yes, ma'am.
correct answer will be this CH3CHO 15 and 12 for this, 1 for this, 16 for this, 44. Correct? So correct answer is 2 beauty.
Option number four.
Good. So you all should not do any mistakes in these type of question. Okay. This is AI triple E question. Okay. Problem number 7. This is a theoretical question, just for information based. Which of the following compounds will give silver mirror with ammoniacal silver nitrate? Have you studied this in your 12th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, which name test is this? Tolerance reagent?
Tolerance. Tolerance.
Very good. So if you know, can you tell me which functional group give tolerance test positive?
Aldehydes.
Aldehydes.
Ketones.
Formaldehyde.
But you can
Aldehyde.
you may write in your notebook, apart from aldehyde, student, alpha hydroxy acids also give tolerance test positive. Okay. So if you see, first is a formic acid, no. Formaldehyde, yes. Benzaldehyde, it can give or not.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Acetone,
Acetone also.
no.
No. No.
Because ketones can, actually what happened in this test, student, silver mirror with ammoniacal silver nitrate. One thing is clear, AgNO3 is there. Okay. Ag plus, here is your starting material, and after reaction of this tolerance reagent with your starting material, your aldehyde, let's say here RCHO is there, it converted into RCO negative, means your aldehyde has been oxidized. It means silver will be reduced. Yes or no? If one thing get oxidized, other will be reduced. Yes or no? But in this
Yes, ma'am.
formic acid, where it will oxidize? Acid is last oxidation stage of this, right? So correct answer is option number A. Good. Okay. Take 2 minutes for this question and tell me quickly. I have put in this problem session, I have solved subjective also, MCQ, and your match the following, NAT type also. NAT means numerical questions. Okay, solve. First reaction, just few slides back we have covered. Option A. With whom should I match option A? Quickly.
Fourth,
Huh. Ozonolysis.
ozonolysis.
Okay. Option B. Option B is
Oxidation.
your electrophilic aromatic substitution.
Okay.
Your benzoyl
Remove half
chloride
alcohol.
AlCl3,
Acylation.
AlCl4 negative will go out. Your COPH will attack on your phenyl ring.
Friedel-Crafts acylation.
Exactly. Okay. C. Which option? If you if you
Oxidation.
if you take here
Option
KMNO4, it will. Here,
Oxidase.
CrO3, second, pyridinium chlorochromate. Here, student, CH2CH3 completely converted to acid, and K is also
KMNO4.
there, which directly hints D is with third option. Potassium salt, it can form from KOH. Okay, okay, very good. Problem number 9. These are some problems based on your reactions on carbonyl chemistry. This is your basic aldol reaction. Okay. Before starting this question, which is more electrophilic, aldehyde and ketone? I have asked this question in first slide also.
Electrophilic.
Okay, let me ask this question in different language. Which carbon is poor, relatively poor in option number A and B, aldehyde or ketone?
And aldehyde.
Aldehyde, because here these are alkyl groups. Alkyl groups decrease electron deficiency of this carbon, right? So this is more reactive. So one thing is clear, that any nucleophile from right side is going to attack your aldehyde. Now this ketone, obviously it will it will form enolate from this side, like this. This will form this enolate, right? This enolate will come back and will attack your aldehyde. And what you will get, student? Oh, I have done one mistake. Before me tell the answer, I hope you all know about aldol reaction.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Only one yes. OH. Now, which option is matching with this? Option number
3.
3.
3.
Only these type of simple question examiner ask. NAT type. Try to solve this. Numerical, what the full form is NAT? How many of the following gives faster cyanohydrin than parachlorobenzaldehyde? In simple language, they are asking, this is your parachlorobenzaldehyde, right? They are asking, how many of the following gives faster cyanohydrin? By this line, faster cyanohydrin, what do you mean, students? It means that carbonyl, should be more reactive than this parachlorobenzaldehyde, right? Because more it will be electron deficient, higher the
Yes, ma'am.
faster
The
will be your
nucleophile.
nucleophilic attack. So now you can tell me answer within minutes. Tell me. Okay, just say me yes or no. Yes.
For first, it is no.
Okay. Just tell me, is this aldehyde? What do we call it? Paramethyl benzaldehyde. It will be more reactive or less reactive?
Less reactive,
Less.
Less reactive. This
Less,
more
more
reactive.
More.
reactive.
more
More.
reactive. This
More,
completely less
More.
Less.
reactive, because here
yeah,
ketone is there. Ketones are less reactive for nucleophilic addition than your aldehyde. Okay. This HCHO. Okay, leave
Um,
this. This CH3CO1,
less.
less, more.
And reactive.
less,
Less reactive than
less
your
reactive.
parachloro.
Okay.
And these two, this is more reactive, student,
more,
but this is less reactive. Why? Now it has become plus M group. because it is OCO2ET. Yes or no? And here, see students,
Yes.
in starting of class I have told you this is plus
Okay.
M because oxygen is having lone pair.
Yes.
Okay. But
Right.
tell me, HCHO is more reactive or your parachlorobenzaldehyde? HCHO is more reactive
SCHO, more
because
reactive.
here phenyl ring is there. Okay. Here no
Yes, ma'am.
any additional effect. So how many are more reactive? One, two, and this three. So correct answer is three.
Ma'am, amongst the parachloro benzaldehyde and this aldehyde, the normal one,
Huh?
which one would be reactive, you told?
Formaldehyde. Because
But here it is attached to the benzene ring.
see that carbonyl is in conjugation with phenyl ring. Yes or no? That
Okay.
positive charge can be delocalized in this benzene ring.
Localized easily. Yes, ma'am.
But this HCH, okay, you remember that example why formic acid is more stronger than your benzoic acid? Due to equivalent resonance.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Because there the resonance was only between the oxygen and oxygen. Actually, this phenyl ring deactivates with respect to this. Okay, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now, your next question is the most suitable reagent for the conversion of XYZ alcohol to XYZ aldehyde. Correct option within minutes.
PCC.
PCC.
PCC, because these two are very strong oxidizing agent. They will convert directly it to RCOH. Why not CrO3, chromium oxide? Okay, PCC, what is the full form of? Okay, I have already written over here. Yes, you should remember this thing. Wait. PCC, pyridinium chlorochromate. This is your milder oxidizing agent. If you want to stop at aldehyde, PCC is your best option. This also will. Okay, which is this reagent? CrO3H2SO4. Quickly, if anyone remembers.
Jones reagent.
Which reagent?
Chrome.
And Jones something.
Jones
Jones.
Jones reagent. This
Chrome.
reagent also converts your alcohol to your acid. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Problem number 12. Which enolate did okay. At the end of the class, 5 minutes, I am going to revise all the three classes till here. Okay. So get ready for that. I am going to ask everyone. Please don't leave the class. Which enolate derived from 1-phenyl butane 2-on is the most stable? You know how to form enolate? Okay. Let me form. What is this 1-phenyl butane 2-on? Just simply draw one butane 2-on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1-phenyl. Okay. 1-phenyl. Let's say you draw here. Is it correct? Just I have drawn one carbon extra. Is it correct? Is this 1-phenyl butane 2-on?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now just draw enolate. You can draw enolate from right side. You can draw enolate from left side. One thing is clear. From left and right, which will we choose? Left or right? And why? Here they are talking about stability.
Left.
From
Obviously
left
from
side, ma'am.
left side.
It's conjugated with phenyl ring.
Okay,
Yes, from
very
left.
good. So
Left
one
side.
thing is clear. You are going to form your enolate from this side. Okay. Phenyl and H. Now there are two things. You will keep your phenyl opposite to O negative or syn to O negative.
Mm,
opposite.
Opposite. Other options? Sorry, other answers.
Opposite only. No.
Okay. Before that, tell me which is bulkier, your ethyl group or your O negative group? Obviously, this ethyl, na.
Ethyl.
So these two
Yes,
groups will try to remain cis to each other or trans to each other.
Trans to each other.
In which option they are trans?
option D.
In option number,
First, I think
so the more stable form will be
Option D. Option D.
option D.
first
No, option D is
option
correct.
C.
Option D is correct. Uh, one thing is not clear. No, option C is correct. If I'm not wrong, yes or no? This hydrogen and alkyl are cis. Hydrogen and alkyl are cis. Yes, option number C is correct, students.
Nana, I did not understand this.
Okay. One from left and right, left we choose left. That is
Yes,
clear.
yes, clear.
Now you have to just put these substituents. One possibility is this, and another possibility is this. Let
Yes,
me
ma'am.
let me do numbering. This is your one. This is your. Uh, if you O negative and ethyl are same, you just have to compare these two. In first one, phenyl is cis to your alkyl group, and here phenyl is trans to your alkyl group. If we talk on terms of sterics, phenyl and alkyl will try to remain opposite to each other, and this
Yes,
is
ma'am.
in this option. Therefore, I'm with option number C. Do you think I'm wrong? I may be wrong. You can tell your answer also, because I am also watching this problem with you only. Tell me, are you with me or not? If not, convince me. Convinced?
Yes, ma'am, convinced. C should be the
Yes.
correct.
Okay. This should I give you homework or you want to solve? Okay, let's solve. You are solving or I should solve?
Both now.
Okay. So simple question. It will take proton from here. Negative charge will come. Enolate will form. Then that enolate is going to attack onto this. So how many number ring form? Just number it. One, two, three, four, five. So one thing is clear. Option number C, D, delete. Okay. Five form five member ring. Do numbering as you have done there. One, two, three, four, five. At carbon number 1, what is there? CO2, ET. At carbon number 2, nothing is there. 3, nothing. 4, nothing. At 5, O negative, OET. You very well know that OET will leave here and you will get this CO2ET and your. So in Claisen condensation, what is the product? Beta ketoester. Yes or no? So correct answer is option number A. Are you with me? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
which name reaction is this? Oh, I right now told you. Claisen condensation. Okay. Okay, write your homework. Is Claisen condensation reversible or irreversible? It is your homework. We will discuss this topic in next class. Okay. Okay. So these are the options. Yeah, let me check answer for problem number 12 C. Yes, we were right. Okay. Any doubt from this class? We have covered IR, three models, Falcon ends. Okay. This was Falkenhayn model. You may write
Ma'am,
now.
this
Now
slide.
wait. Just give me 1 minute, okay? Sorry for interruption. Now I am very much clear. This model name is Conforth dipolar model. Your homework is you should also study Cram scalation model. Cram scalation model. In chelation model, your metal generally binds with your carbonyl oxygen and heteroatom nearby it. For that chelation, your heteroatom should be at this position, not perpendicular. In Cram's chelation, this is your simple comfort dipolar model. Okay, from here we have seen axial attack will be more preferable, right? Due to perfect overlapping of your incoming nucleophile C sigma and your this C pi star. Okay, this is, and then we covered question based on it. Anything extra we have not? Yes. Now tell me what was your doubt? Ask. So,
Ma'am,
huh.
in Cornforth dipolar model,
Okay, let me go to that slide.
please.
Conforth dipolar model. Huh. Tell me. Huh. Ask.
Here, ma'am, in last structure, please draw its base and dash form,
Huh.
which are in Newman projection.
I couldn't understand what you are asking. You
Ma'am,
are not
I
getting that
say
how to draw
this.
from Newman to this wedge dash projection.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me take a new slide for this if it is possible. Actually, in this mode, I am unable to. Huh. New slide. Let me explain you from basic. Okay. If not, if I'm not able, then sorry. Okay. Let's say you are having this exam, COME, and here let's say NME2 is there, and your some nucleophile is there. Okay, what you have to do? This is your carbonyl methyl. Okay, you just have to draw this carbon, and since at alpha carbon heteroatom is there, here we have to follow Conforth dipolar model. As per that model, NMA2 will be perpendicular to your carbonyl. Okay, apart from this carbon, apart from NMA2, what other substituents are there? This ethyl and hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen always you have to put here so that incoming nucleophile phase smaller group, and here is your ethyl group. Till this point, is it clear, student?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now what I'm saying to you, let's say nucleophile is attacking from left side, right? This was straight. As soon as nucleophile is attacking, this will become your V in, let's say, nucleophile is attacking from left side, this straight line will convert into this. Let's say nucleophile is attacking from right side, this straight line will become this you understood? if
Yes, ma'am.
if incoming nucleophile is going to attack, you just draw this center point OH, because after attacking O negative, it will become OH, and this methyl is there, and just nucleophile will come here. I hope this is very clear too. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
draw other things as it was there, NME2. Once you get practice of this, you will be fast in solving question. Okay? This point is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, as that girl, I don't know her name, she said, as per rule, your in main chain of this wedge dash projection, carbon chain should be there. Okay. So let's say our carbon chain are ethyl and methyl. This nucleophile is hydride. Let's say sodium borohydride. Okay. So we want ethyl and methyl opposite. They are opposite. Okay. Let me draw a simple wedge dash, simple Newman projection. This is staggered form, right? Huh. Let me explain you. Wait. Actually, I'm nothing. These two alkyl groups should be opposite to each other. Or let me say, if you are drawing this zigzag way of presenting, with respect to this line, student, with respect to this line, this substituent and this substituent are opposite because from here one is going down, from here one is going up. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
In same way, A and C, B and E, and D and F are opposite. This thing is clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
So, if you your main compound also, let's say someone asks you this question, your first task should be you should draw everything same as it is in your starting material. NME2 as at wedge. But one thing is clear, your methyl, forget about this line, forget about this line. Your methyl and ethyl are opposite, right? Because this is going above, this is going down. And you see, your ethyl and methyl are opposite. It's perfect match. Now, what you have to do, your OH and NME2, they are same. With respect to what? You just have to mark this with reference to ethyl and methyl that are opposite. This OH and NME2, they are at same side. So, same means if NME2 is at wedge, your OH will also be at wedge.
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Yes,
understood?
ma'am.
Your hydrogen and nucleophile here is sodium borohydride only. They will be cis. Yes, they are cis. Dash at hydrogen at dash. Now clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's say uh, you have one problem I have covered where there was need for rotation, I think, right? In one problem rotation was needed. In this problem only, in this problem, if you see your butyl and this propyl, these are opposite. If you forget about this line, let me use pointer only. If you see this line, student, this butyl and this propyl are opposite, but in your
Yes,
answer
ma'am.
they are right now they are opposite. That question was different, I think, but I hope you got my point. If let's say in any case they are not opposite, you can rotate one of the carbon substituent either by clockwise or anti-clockwise by 120-degree rotation, but only one carbon substituent. If you are keeping this carbon fixed, you can rotate backside carbon substituent. If you are fixing backside substituent, you can rotate this carbon substituent. Okay, still not
Yes,
clear
ma'am.
or clear? Not.
Clear, ma'am.
Okay, okay, very good. Any doubt, student, or I should end the class?
Ma'am, please upload PPT without erasing.
Actually, last time also I have tried to upload it, but I am seeing on OneDrive when I am uploading, all the annotations are going. I don't know why. I will try to put annotation. Okay.
Ma'am, sometimes it uploaded without erasing, and after 1 or 2 days, it erases. Only PPT will be available.
Okay. I will check today also. I will try.
Okay, ma'am.
Otherwise, my suggestion is whatever I teach in class, na, you write in your notebook.
Yes, ma'am.
Because for
Yes.
exam purpose, these things are important.
Yeah.
Okay, in next class, listen everyone, whoever is in class. In next class, I will ask you in which range NMR proton comes, chemical shift, that
Hmm.
aromatic, olefinic range, C heteroatom, your 13C shift range, okay, your IR spectroscopy, electrophilic. You come with your revised notes. I will just take I will ask you some questions, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I am leaving the class. Thank you for joining the session.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good day, ma'am.